Hey folks, thanks for joining us in another presentation brought to you by the Dog Tag TV Productions in association with Fayette TV. Our focus is definitely going to be on veteran issues, and this is why we're here today. We have an epidemic that we want to discuss, not just by word, but also by action. And I'm proud to have all my presentationers here, Rob, as well as Brian, and our special guest, Emily. And as we proceed in our show, we're going to tell you a story of what's happening here in Fayette County as well as in the southwestern Pennsylvania region. Go ahead, folks, take over.
Well, like you know, we're trying to stem the suicide rate amongst our veterans in this country, and we used to give out an 800 number, and now that's been simplified, and now you dial 988 and then 1. And this is a confidential crisis chat line set up for veterans. You don't have to be a veteran to make the call. You can make the call on behalf of a veteran, friend, relative, business associate, neighbor. You see somebody that's a little off, you can make the call on their behalf. And some of the signs to recognize a suicide risk is feeling of hopelessness, feeling like there's no way out, agitation, anxiety, mood swings, rage or anger, engaging in risky activities without thinking, increasing alcohol and drug abuse, withdrawing from family and friends. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, please make the call, 988 and then 1. And I'm sure, Brian, you've had this down in your office for a while.
Yes, sir.
We're trying to get the word out, and the last numbers we had on are something like 20, 22 veterans a day.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's. I hope we can come on and talk about other things.
And that's a big thing too. You said as well. It doesn't have to be the veteran that calls. It could be a family member. It could be somebody that's concerned. It could be a neighbor. It could be an uncle. It could be a sister. Again, it's. I understand it's tough, and a veteran myself, and I get to deal with our patriots every day, and I'm blessed to do so. But I say this over and over again. A lot of us veterans are prideful and we're stubborn,
Right.
and we don't. We were taught in the military to suck it up, so to speak, and keep pushing forward and pushing through, and that's our mindset. Well, it's very hard for us to ask for help. It's very hard. We always want to be the one helping everybody else, and it's okay to need help. It's okay.
And I just want to interject, that's why we're reaching out to you folks out there in the community with these presentations. We need your help. It's an epidemic proportion. And they had mentioned it's 22, but I just got word it's even beyond that, and it's not good. So as we hope to bring these presentations with the various veterans issues, this is a top priority. Having said that, again, that number is very simplified, 988. And, if there is a change of personality, as well as, better safe than sorry is what we say.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt to make the call.
And that old number still works as well. So if you have a bunch of those cards, I know, Rob, you got one on you right now.
Yeah.
If you have the card or you have dog tags that I pass out with the phone number on it, those numbers will still work. The old card that we have here that we hand out, the 1-800-273-8255, still works.
Still works.
But they'll phase that out in the next 3 to 5 years is what they're talking about. So the 988 works as well because that's the new number. But again, it's identifying these people, especially this time of year. We all know that,
Right.
the holiday season,
Absolutely.
a lot of our veterans, they've lost people. There's people that they've spent holidays with, their brothers and sisters that they're not going to get to see again. A widow who's not going to spend the time with her husband. It's a happy time for a lot of us, but we also have to understand that our brothers and sisters are hurting during this time, and we got to be a little bit more vigilant and keep an eye on them. The signs that Rob talked about and things like that, and we bring it up over and over again. I am not the healthcare guy, and I realize that. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a paid doctor. You don't want a retired Marine as your doctor, I promise you, but I will help you find the place to go to get help. Whether you have healthcare or not, I don't care. If the clinic here in Uniontown, if you're a Fayette County veteran, a veteran, that's 724 439-4990. But I mean, if you don't want to use the VA and you don't want to use the clinic, and some of our veterans, believe it or not, too, they don't want to use the VA.
Well, a lot of them goes way back, and they had
Yeah.
bad experiences years ago.
Especially our Vietnam veterans, and I understand. And if you don't want to use that, that's okay. Call me. 724-430-1241. I'll find you another route.
Yeah, the VA has come a long way, Brian.
Yes, sir.
I've experienced them when I was in Hawaii. I experienced them when I was in New York. Here, now with the clinics that's available right in town here, you're not a number anymore.
No, and there's many avenues to get help.
They address you as a human being. You go in. They still have some miles to go, but they've come a very, very long way.
Absolutely. It just takes you telling me or your family telling me that you need help, and we will relentlessly find you and help you. I will do anything I can. We are amassing an army here in this county, and I know we're going to talk about that in a bit, but I said this a billion times when I got here, and I say it to you guys all the time. I'm one person. I have a staff of 3 or 4 others, and 2 van drivers and 2 VSOs, and Jackie and Glenn and Clark and Perry, and there's 5 of us. There's over 8,000 veterans in this county, and then you add on top of that our family members. There's no way that we're going to put a dent in this or take care of everybody unless we all come together as a community, as a county, and as a country. And that's what we're trying to do. We realize that we need an army, and that's what we're going to do.
Well, let me say this, Brian. Even though you're not a counselor, your passion is very contagious, and
I
that's why
appreciate
we're
that.
here. And again, we are just guys or men and women off the street, but we have a heart of concern. Our wounded spirits out there need to be told that we care. And that is what the agenda is, that we are building not only a task force, but we are having categories. So it's a real easy read that each one of these organizations that are out there with their specialty is available to address not only the veteran that's in need, but also the family, as well as their friends to build a community. And, again, Emily, you are our special guest, and we want to hear from you on the lady side of what you've had been doing, as well as what you want to do. And, just let us give a little preview of what's going on in your world.
So real quick before, again, you talked about putting together a committee, and originally we put together a committee to try to, get everyone together to talk about what we need to do and how we need to bring everyone together, these community services, the businesses and things like that. But one of the big things we realized was our widows. Our widows is a big piece.
Yeah.
Again, we always talk about helping our veterans, but there's people out here that are still picking up the pieces and living their lives for their veteran who laid down his life or her life. So the widow piece is huge to us, and we have Emily who's going to run our program. And originally, again, we were going to have programs and things like that, but we want these widows to understand that we have Emily and myself and all of us here that they can come to when they need help. We want to kind of amass a widow army, so to speak, to put them to work as well to help out our, I hate to say future widows, but we're going to have more. And someone like Emily with her drive and her desire is going to help us greatly. So there you go, Emily.
Yeah, so we have developed a program, I call it Courageous Steps, but we're kind of in the new development stages, and it's more than one part. It's not just the widows, it's not just about me, it's about the bigger picture here. We definitely want to get the widows together just because it's a very isolating experience, and I think that it would be beneficial to have people who had similar experiences to be able to call someone who gets it. The other part is we want to help prevention. We want to help the prevention side.
That's a wonderful
That's
point.
what we're talking about.
How do these veterans have someone to talk to relate to them if they don't call the VA? Who else can they call? And we're trying to develop something similar to AA where you might not even know someone's last name, but you have a list of people you can call. You're not being tracked. It's not through the government, but you can be honest with each other. And just for the day-to-day stuff, a counselor might meet with you once a week, but this is something that if you just need 5 minutes to talk to someone, you have someone to call. So it's multifaceted. I also would at some point like to get something for, families, the parents, the brothers and sisters, the friends. it affects so many more people than just 22 a day. I get frustrated because that sounds like a low number. It's not. It's way too high. But it affects the ripples all around that person, and it will for the rest of those people's lives.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than just us or our little committee. We need people. We need voices. We need the veterans' voices to let us know what can help them, because we're not experiencing what they are. And the widows' voices, what
Yeah.
they are experiencing, because a lot of times the PTSD gets passed on to them.
Yeah, everybody lives with it,
And we've been doing monthly meetings, and Emily's been awesome at this, and you guys have been wonderful. It's grown. I think we had 5 or 6 of us a couple months ago. Our next one's the 30th of November. I always say this wrong. Is it the ye old in or the old ye in? It's
Ye
the
olde
ye
in.
old. That sounds better the first time we read it. So our next meeting is November 30th, the ye old in, with Emily, myself, Whip, our whole committee there. But Emily's been talking about, and you guys have too, that it doesn't have to just be committee members. If you're on our committee and you want to help, great. If you want to be a part of it and help, we're there at 6 o'clock on the 30th of November at the Ye Old Inn.
It's a Wednesday.
You'll get it right.
Yeah, I'm going to get it right eventually.
Yeah.
If you want to show up and be a part of it and you're not a part of it now, that's great. And also, if you need help or you have something to add or you have a problem and you think it needs to be addressed and you think it's an overreaching problem that could help others or it just maybe helps you, that's fine. But show up. Even if you're not a committee member, you need help, we're all there. That's the best place to show up after hours, and we will take care of you. And again, if you have something to add or something to bring to the table, we welcome it. The more the merrier.
Well, that's what I was going to inject, that if there is a question or a suggestion, you can email me at dogtagclub590@gmail.com. That's dogtagclub590@gmail.com.
But I do want to thank you. She, and not to get into her history or anything like that. It's, people that have their, got busy lives.
The hardest part is starting the conversation. And once you start the conversation, sometimes it breaks the ice a little bit. But how do you start that? And I think that's what you're alluding to,
Yeah.
is getting people together and say,
Well,
I also think it's courageous that somebody like, Emily's and the others that shown up, they're dealing with their own demons and they're dealing with their own issues and they got a lot of things going on, the ripple effect that she's talked about. But yet they still step forward and want to help others. A lot of times we're hurting and we try to, we fall up, and I got people out there that are hurting right now and still want to help other people. And that's the name of the game here. That's the only way we're going to make a dent here. I keep saying it, but we have wonderful people out there that felt the pain and know what it's like. And she said it already, we're going to have other widows or other families that have dealt with this. And it's hard for someone, if you've never dealt with this before, it's hard to match and mirror or accept it. So
you're talking to 3 people here that has hit our families twice in my case, in your
Yep,
case,
yep,
in
yep.
Emily's case.
But with our committee members, their widows that showed up, Emily especially,
and
I
I
really
think-
appreciate it.
I think in all honesty, once they know about our committee as well as the people that are in that committee, there's going to be a bond of trust. The idea to be judged or to be ridiculed is the obstacle that we better let them be put in the comfort zone.
Yeah, and this is not my committee. This is not
I
Fayette
said
County.
our.
This is not. No. I know
It's
that.
not a government
It's,
thing.
it's,
No, no.
it's our
Right.
committee.
Right, exactly.
Anybody who shows up and wants to be a part of it,
That's
it's
right.
ours.
That's
It's
exactly
ours.
right.
And I hope in the future
And
we
then-
always talk about it. We set a model for everybody else. We fix this. We try to fix our own community and our own county, and then hopefully it spreads like wildfire.
Well, my vision is the fact that it's coming out of southwestern Pennsylvania to be a prototype that could be adopted in other areas to address this, number one. Number two is to make it real easy and simple that we have different activities and different varieties of interest that will be documented. For instance, if you need a therapy or service dog and need a reference, we will have that. If you need adventure outdoor recreational themes, we will have that. If you need mental or health or benefits, we will have that.
And then even if it's
Like-
non-VA
like-
related.
Yeah, as well as, with Emily, with the widows, we will have that. Okay, all these organizations that are going to be addressed or have on that file will be issued through a PDF, and you could keep it easy and just, request, where are these activities happening? Building a community that where they can go from the military transition into civilian life is the most important, that where they have that bond and brotherhood still, that relationship.
And this will only grow.
Yeah,
You know, we'll have
yeah.
businesses that see that, you know, oh my goodness, they're all involved with you. Oh, we want to be involved too. And that's what we want. Again, we're not going to turn anybody away. You know, anybody who wants to help us, we're
We're
bring it,
open
please.
door. And again, I just wanted to inject too, that Rob and I are on every Wednesday afternoon on WMBS with the Dog Tag Club. We try to make things real easy, awareness as well as educate all these different organizations that are out there that we're in conversation with. So it's just not in a isolated area of Fayette County. We are streamlined and have had multitude of different organizations. So we have the library of information.
We try to get the word out with,
Right,
you know, and
exactly,
that's part of
exactly.
what we do. And
Yeah.
I give you a lot of credit, Whip, because I show up. I'm the Ed McMahon of the show.
Well,
But you're the guy that digs up the guest, and
I surely appreciate it, but it's an easy fix when you have passion that
Oh.
you want to, do something
Absolutely.
successful for, the fellow man.
Right, and
that's what-
sometimes when they call, there's an order of operations involved where we're trying to get out all the information possible to them.
Yeah.
So if someone needs help, they might have to go through so many sessions of therapy before they're referred out. But we can let them know about inpatient programs or your dog tag club or other things that they can do in their local community.
That's
and
right,
that's
that's
also
right.
part of it.
That's right.
And
So,
you have T-shirts too, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
want to tell us about the T-shirts?
Yeah, so I have T-shirts, Courageous Steps. I have navy or army green. I sell them for $25. All proceeds go to promoting this cause for the widows and the veterans and the suicide prevention causes.
And I will sit here and say that I have, not myself, but a veteran, actually a widow, was a direct beneficiary of those T-shirts
And
and
I can
of the
second
money
that.
that was raised by her already.
I could second that. It's not that it was a self-glory or self-contained or
No money's being
monetary gain for Emily. She, in her good-heartedness, helped another
Yeah.
widow.
No profit was made.
I do know that. I guess what we're asking is that if you have any consideration in buying a T-shirt for this event of support, or if you know a store that may want to have and display this, sure, let us know. And again, Emily, you have a
Email or
Facebook?
something?
You have a Facebook?
Yes, I have a Facebook group. It's Jesse's Friends, JESSE apostrophe S, Jesse's Friends. And my personal phone number, if you want to reach out to me to get them in your stores.
She's brave.
I'm a real estate agent, so my number's out there anyway, 724-880-2672. You can shoot me a text or call me, and we can work something out.
one
It's
more time
wonderful
with
what
that
you're doing.
number.
724-880-2672.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
So, again, knowing the holidays, the economy the way it is, but if you have it in your heart that you want to help in some given way, reach out to Emily, Jesse's Friends on Facebook, as well as, message her or, anything that you could do to support this movement for, the widows. And I commend you. You really are honorable.
Absolutely.
And, the trials and tribulations that you have faced and are facing, you are a overcomer. And you're a unique young lady, very much. So.
And also, if you want to be a part, again, 30th of November. Where's it at, Emily?
Yielding.
There we go. We'll just start the her so we don't
And then,
mess it up. 6 o'clock.
We are, again, geared towards veteran issues. We will take and break down all these different developments that we were talking about. One by one, we will probably start adding some footage of, these different places which we had an event this past Saturday. It was a veterans pheasant hunt / pig roast, and it was extremely pleasing to see all the people that had attended. I'm a firm believer that outdoor therapy is not only good for the health and the nature of the being, but it's also the build-up and communication with the people that enjoy the elements.
Well, you've had a lot of experience with that, being in the doghouse the way you.
I have.
Yeah.
So, but
Our resource guide will be out at the beginning of December as well. So
Yeah.
that you guys will see it. We will see that hit here on the website, on my county website, as well as being passed out, and you'll probably see it on Emily, on Emily's page and everybody else's. So it will see the light of day here in the next 2 weeks.
And I got one more thing to say as we're in our closing. We want to thank you for tuning in, but pay attention because we got a huge announcement that the Dog Tag TV production in association with the Fayette TV is going to be doing January, the second week, Thursday from 1 to 3. It's going to be called, I believe, the Seenager Dance Party.
Say that again?
Seenager Dance Party.
Seenager.
I think you might be a
dance party.
teenager.
Yeah.
I'm a seenager.
I don't
You're
think
a
I am
teenager.
yet.
He threw these
But-
Webstonary words at me.
Yeah.
I can't figure this
But
out.
here's the beautiful part of it. All legal ages are invited, and
you gotta be
we're
legal.
going to have music time to time. We'll probably have some recognized
Bring your ID.
entertainment groups that will come down and be a part of the show and everything and such. That's going to be at the Ambits 103 at Buttermilk Lane in Hopwood, Pennsylvania. We're tentatively shooting for January the 12th. It's a Thursday between 1 and 3. And having said that, now you guys are one of our dogs. So get out there and run and see what you can do to keep the pack in the registered way of helping.